Welcome back. For thousands of years, communication on a battlefield has been very tricky. It needed to happen from person to person. So a commander communicating with his troops might have to communicate verbally, yelling out a command, or he might make use of music like a bugle call or a fife and drum call. But that can only cover a certain distance. Communication between officers or between a commanding officer to his men on a large battlefield was even harder. In order to do that, he had to give that message to a staff officer. He might verbally communicate it, and that staff officer would have to remember what that message is and hopefully convey it in the right way. Or he can write it down, which takes time, and then for that staff officer to travel across a large battlefield, often under fire, and send that message in time to get it there before things have changed really was a hard thing to do. Once it got to that person that he's trying to send the message to, if that person needed to communicate with others to work together to do what they were ordered to do, or to send a reply back to that officer, that took a lot of time as well. So it really was a complicated business, and often involved individual officers having to take more command and really know what they're doing on the battlefield.
In the 1850s, Albert Myer, a surgeon in the United States Army before the Civil War, invented a new way to send messages on a battlefield, allowing Army commanders to communicate with their troops and between troops almost instantaneously. These changes, along with other technological advances, completely changed the way battles were fought. Myer's system involved signal flags that could be waved at long distances to communicate a message. These flags were white with a red square in the middle, red with the white square, or black with the white square. Each could be used with a different background so that it could be seen effectively, and there were different sized flags that could be seen for longer distances. Torches could even be used at night if needed. Stations would then be set up with a group of men with an officer in charge who could convert the messages into the code used and then read messages and convert them back. These stations would be set up in places where they could see large distances, hills, up in trees, on top of houses, or even on top of towers built for that purpose. Some of those towers could be quite tall.
To signal, there were 3 positions for the flag to be moved to. One was made by waving the flag down and to the flag bearer's right and then brought straight back up. 2 was made by moving to the left and back. 3 is made by waving the flag directly in front and back up. Letters were created by a combination of 1s and 2s, such as A being 2, 2, and B is 2, 1, 1, 2. Between letters, there's a short pause. A 3 tells the end of a word, 2 3s is the end of a sentence, and 3 3s are the end of a message. Now let's try to send a short message using our alphabet chart. Grab your alphabet chart from the activity sheet, a piece of paper, and a pencil or pen. Write down a 1 when you see one, and a 2 when you see one, and a 3 as well. Remember that a 1 is sent by waving a flag to the right, and a 2 is sent by waving to the left, but you will see a 1 waving to the left, and a 2 waving to the right. If you see a pause, leave a space to show the end of one letter and the beginning of another. Now we will send a couple of messages and see how you do after it's over. Now let's pause so you can decipher what you saw. Take a look at the combination of 1s and 2s between pauses and look at your code to decipher each letter. Remember, 1, 3 means the end of a word, 2 means the end of a sentence, and 3 means the end of the message.
Press play when you're ready to see how you did. Let's see how you did. The message sent was hurry. Let's try another. Now let's pause so you can decipher what you saw. Press play when you're ready to see how you did. Let's see how you did. The message sent was send troops quickly. Here's one more message. We've sent them further away so you can see how they look at a short distance. Normally they were much further away and with the larger flag. Now, let's pause so you can decipher what you saw. Press play when you're ready to see how you did. Let's see how you did. The message sent was, visit Endview. We hope that you'll come to visit us soon. We hope you've enjoyed learning about the Signal Corps during the Civil War and have enjoyed learning how to send and receive messages. Now, you can go try this on your own. Grab something to use for a flag, maybe a piece of fabric that you have around. Maybe if you ask nicely, you'll be able to use a pillowcase or something like that and attach it to a broomstick or another stick. Or you could just use a plain stick, broomstick, or even wave your arms back and forth to make it work. Go find somebody else that you can practice communicating back and forth with and see how quickly you can do it and how well you can do it. For members of the Signal Corps, communicating using this language became a second language to them. They were able to do it very quickly and very well. So we hope that you've enjoyed this, that you've learned a little bit more about these particular Civil War soldiers and what they did on the battlefield and the risks that they went through in order to be able to communicate those messages effectively and quickly.